Full throttle! Try and stop me! Rev the engines!
Huh? Wait, you're that blonde traveler who's on a journey to all corners of Teyvat, right?
Who's asking? Do you need something from us?
You bet I do. I was worried I wouldn't be able to find you. I have a letter for you, you see. It's from another Outlander. He was a crafty fellow, let me tell you. Took advantage of a loophole in our mailing system by opting for guaranteed delivery, then filling in the most obscure mailing address I've ever seen.
Well, we aren't always on the road, so yeah, it's pretty tough to get mail to us unless we happen to go to the post office on a whim. So, what address did that person give you anyway?
He just wrote, next to a small, white-haired talking fairy.
What? So the address is Paimon?
Yeah, exactly, right? And if I failed to deliver the letter, I'd have been bound by regulation to compensate him. Really, he got me good. I count myself very lucky that I ran into you here. Of course, here it is. All yours.
Come on! Paimon wants to have a look, too! Hiya, huh? So he's here in Sumeru. Now that Paimon thinks about it, Crafty does describe him pretty well. From what he wrote in the letter, it looks like he didn't think there was much chance of it reaching us. Or maybe he's just being sneaky. Do you think he's making this sound like a miracle of yeah, you're right. It's always nice to see old friends. The letter says that he hangs out at Jafar Tavern every afternoon. Perhaps we should drop in on him then, huh? shimmy at Jafar Tavern right now. Let's go see him.
Full throttle!
I'll have something I haven't tried yet, boss.
Sorry, sir. I'm afraid you've already tried every type of liquor we serve.
Oh? Well then, just the bill, please. That's just as well, I suppose. I do have other matters to attend to.
Kaya, you're really here! Paimon half thought you were playing some sort of prank on us.
Hey, Paimon, traveler. Looks like the gods smile upon me after all. And come now, I wouldn't joke about wanting to see my good friends.
Wait a second. You must be here on official business, right? What do you think you're doing spending every afternoon drinking at the tavern? You itching for a lecture from Dean?
Not at all. The acting Grand Master positively terrifies me. Why would I ever do anything that might displease? The truth is, I'm in Sumeru to learn about the alcohol industry here. So despite how it might look, I'm actually at Jafar Tavern for strictly business purposes. Sumeru spices are famous the world over, and it's long been rumored that this fine establishment was where a certain very popular spiced cocktail was invented. That's why the knights sent me, their foremost expert in alcoholic beverages, to come and see if it is as good as the rumors say.
And how did that go?
So far, so good. I'm already in talks with some spice merchants in Port Ormos about some potential collaboration.
Yeah, that does sound like a great business opportunity. Guess Don Winery and Master D-Luke are gonna make a tidy sum from this one too, huh?
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Whether this lucrative opportunity gets passed along to Don Winery or not depends on how nice I'm feeling.
Hey, using your job to settle personal grievances isn't very knightly, Captain!
Oh? What makes you say that? Very sharp of you. I wouldn't say I'm familiar, though. I just came here on the sly once, when I was very young.
And? Do continue.
Do I have to? When I said we could talk about the old times, digging up my past wasn't exactly... Well, all right. Since you're so in... I overheard my adoptive father talk about sending a team of merchants to... I'm sure you'll agree that everyone's curious about their... And so But it wasn't long before the merchant delegation received news that I'd gone missing. Their leader promptly found me, and before I knew it, my adoptive father was dragging me back home by the ear. It was a short-lived adventure. Sorry I don't have a more thrilling story for you. Honestly, not much. The only reason I knew that Conria was near Sumeru is because I happened to read that in a book when I was young. My life had less and less to do with Conria as I grew. I used to believe that I had inherited, but then I began to wonder. Maybe as well as ensuring that I'd be safely cut off from certain things, the thought that I might be able to actually live This is obviously all speculation. Simply put, these days, my surname, Alberich.
One death afternoon, please, boss. Tell me, what do you know about the significance of that name, Alberich?
Dainsworth?
Ah, you've decided to join us.
So you remember me. Then we are already acquainted, Kaya Alberich, descendant...
Huh?
What?
I take it that you weren't aware of this until now, Kaya. Or you wouldn't have been so forthcoming with your surname.
Oh, my. That's quite...
I'm surprised that you take me at my word without the faintest hint of skepticism.
Well, perhaps what you told me just happens to answer some questions I carry in my memories. And in any case, You're a pure-blood Conrian, aren't you?
Very clever.
Kaya, you're...
Hey, hold on now. This conversation has taken a rather sudden turn for the deadly serious. And I'm afraid that as someone from Mondstadt, I'm not accustomed to this sort of atmosphere. So what if I know my ancestry? Do I strike you as the type who would be Relax. I'll be just as delighted to hunt down the Abyss Order tomorrow as I... Either way, looks like we're out of time. I've got a spice merchant to meet in a minute, so I'll leave the three of you to carry on the conversation without me.
Well, all right then. You go do your thing, Kaya.
See you around. And Dainsleif, no need to listen in from the sidelines next time we meet. Let me buy you a drink.
You don't really trust him, do you, Dane? You're both from Conria, but you get on like oil and water.
The fact is, I still do not know him well. It would be meaningless for me to jump to conclusions. But can a person truly be unaffected by their ancestry? This remains to be seen. Well, I suspect that they call your brother their prince, precisely because there is a succession of sorts.
Oh, so if he was the founder, he'd be the king, right?
I mean to investigate the Loom of Fate. Do you remember that name?
Yeah, the Abyss Order's evil plan. We learned about that back in Mondstadt.
Not new. Not exactly. My memories suffer from erosion. But while I was recovering my health recently, I suddenly remembered something. Your brother. He mentioned the Loom of Fate back when we traveled together. Apparently so. I was also quite surprised when these memories tallied up. I recall that we were traveling to Sumeru when the matter was brought up.
So, you're going to the place that he mentioned back then?
Correct. At that time, they must have been introduced...
Well, what do we wait?
No. Now is not the time. No, I'm still waiting for my...
Serious?
Rev the engines!
Wait. This place, it's familiar.
What about it? It looks pretty normal to Paimon. Was it like this hundreds of years ago, too?
Yes. The forest has barely changed from how I remember. Let's search the area and see what we can find.
Is this a field? It must belong to whoever owns that house over there. But it looks like it's been It's an extinguished bonfire. Looks like it's been ages since it was last lit. And clearly they put it out carefully to prevent a forest fire, too.
Nothing else stands out in this area. All that's left is that building. Come on.
Wait, we're just gonna go barging in? What if someone's home?
Unlikely. There are no signs of life in this area. We should be able to enter without incident.
If you say... So there really isn't it. Hey, look! It's a bowl! Guess whoever used to live here liked to cook, huh?
Can't you smell it? There's a heavy scent of medicinal herbs in here.
Oh, so it's a medicine bowl? Seems you're right. You've got a good nose on you, Dane. This bed looks pretty ordinary. Huh. There's nothing underneath it either. What sort of person would want to live here? It's so dark and damp. Can't be all that comfortable. There's a box over here. Why don't we open it? And by we, Paimon means you. Paimon's just scared that whatever's inside might bite her fingertips off. Huh? It's broken too. Was this a makeup box? That's kinda disappointing. Paimon was hoping we'd uncover some Doesn't look like there's anything else worth her attention here. You sure we're in the right place, Dane?
My memories are quite foggy, but my subconscious and instincts both assert that something once happened here. But we'll exhaust ourselves if we search aimlessly. I hear noises outside. Let's go and check.
Noises?
It's not much.
Monsters? Wow, Dane's ears are sharp, just like his nose. It's in good shape for a 500-year-old. Although for someone who's as full of surprises as Dane, it's hardly a big deal. Anyway, let's beat up these monsters!
Wait! Bring it! Rise with the sun! Pyroclastic surge!
I doubt that the appearance of those monsters was wholly random. There must be something nearby that attracted them. A ley line anomaly, perhaps. But it seems to be more than that. Okay. I'll go slightly further out to investigate any issues with the nearby ley lines. I might be a while. You should wait for me here.
What? You're going alone? You better not be trying to keep some secret from us.
Your suspicions are as banal as they are unwarranted. I merely think that this house should remain the focus, not to mention that if even forest rangers are capable of investigating ley lines, I will be more than able to handle it alone.
Fair enough. Guess we'll just camp. Good thing there's a bonfire over there. Let's make ourselves something to eat. All this running around has made Paimon real hungry. Is as good as ever. Even if there was no other reason, the food alone would be enough for Paimon to stick with you. Changing the subject, Dane's taking forever. He said that there might be an issue with the nearby ley lines. How bad do you think it could be? We came together, but now it's back to just being the two of us again. You know, now that Paimon mentions it, we really have spent lots and lots of time together, haven't we? So, don't take this the wrong way or anything, but, okay, fine. Paimon should have known you weren't gonna say anything nice. So, next question. Don't know if it's okay to ask this, but the stars? Wow. Yeah, Paimon understands. Being separated without even knowing the reason why. But we'll find the truth together. Sure as Paimon's your guide. Just you wait, heavenly principles. And you too, Teyvat. You know what? We've talked too long about this sad stuff. Let's talk about something happy instead, 'cause if you're sad... All right. It's getting dark, so why don't you rest? Paimon will take first watch. Don't worry, no monster's gonna... Oh, come on! Don't say that! Paimon just wants to look after you for once. Nighty-night. Go on, shoot.
Hey, time to wake up. The sun has risen. What a deep sleeper. You do know... Tear stains. All right. Rest here a bit longer then.
Halt! What do you think you're doing? This place is not whatever you think it is. Nor should you be poking your nose into my business. Begone! Your travel companion. Your companion departed for the forest early this morning. What business is that of yours, hmm? All you need to know is that I claimed this place first, and what I do here is none of your concern. Do I make myself quite clear? Leave! Well, what are you waiting for? I've been observing you, and you still. I'm warning you, no funny business. Promise me that, and you can do as you please. Okay, fine, whatever. Just move aside. You. Oh, go on then. Have it your way. I knew I wasn't going to be able to hide. But no overreacting to anything you see in here, okay? You understand me? Come on, then. Mind your own business? How could he be? He was too young for anything like that. So don't you lay a finger on him. Just find yourself a corner to rest in. Huh? You know Conria? Who are you, exactly? And how do you know I'm from Conria? Do you worship a god, traveler? Sound... and all who place faith... That made this wretched... the curse. We lost our home. All we can do is watch helplessly as... Because, although any who when the cataclysm, but those whose he is Caribert. Then Caribert. After all that, I always owed him much. She was. It could be worse. I suffer the pains now. If nothing else... Yes, that reminds me. I own... Over here. I'm sure you're wondering why I brought Caribert here to Sumeru. Well, it's because he needs a medicine that can only be made here. One which will help him to recover his... I do not, but it is said, I believe that it might just work. I read about... In my youth, the gods have already... Never mind. As it happens, my hands don't have the... Okay. Also, do you have any, of Sumeru's regional specialties on hand? I believe they're called Kalpalata lotuses and Sumeru roses. Oh, wonderful! Oh, in that case, we have everything we need. This is the method for making the medicine. You just need to follow the steps. Is it done? Oh, splendid. Let me see. In all honesty, I do not know what the end product is supposed to look like. The banned book didn't feature any illustrations. Well, the moment has finally arrived. No! We need to perform one final step to complete the medicine. I said before that this medicine relies on the power of the God of Wisdom for its restorative effects. Which means we must pay a visit to a statue of the Seven. Let's go. Bring the medicine with you. This statue. How can I bow before this thing? God of Wisdom, look at me. I will utter no prayer, nor will I sing your praises. You and your kind destroyed my home, wrought unfathomable suffering on my compatriots, yet here I stand before you. You cannot mock me more than fate itself already has. God of Wisdom, I seek not to disavow myself of the sinful blood that flows through my veins. I wish only to beseech you to have pity upon a young and unfortunate soul, my son. Caribert, He was turned into a monster before he had the chance to witness anything. If everything the gods have done was in order to have the impious people of Conria bow their heads, then I bow to you now. I have given up all I ever stood for. All I ask is for a tiny miracle. For Caribert to see this world once more. Please, God. I beg of you. I...
Full throttle!
Caribert? We've... Caribert, it's me. It's your father. Caribert. Caribert, please, say something. I'm sorry I couldn't be at your side when you were born. And that But I'm here now. Papa's been by your side all these years. I've never left you, not once. Are you still angry with me, Caribert? I know you're awake now. Do you not want to talk to me? I'm so sorry, Caribert. Forgive me. Please, say something, anything. Please. Please. Oh, gods above! What more do you want from me? You took everything from here, and I still bowed to you. I'd give you my very life if only you cared to take it. But you won't even let me die. I knew it. I should never have trusted anything that had to do with the gods. I was just deluding myself. The gods of this world have never stood with humanity, not even for a moment. Other reason. Huh. You really think so? Give up? No, never. And yes, you're right. Even if I must stay here with him for... Let's go. The most crucial ingredient in this medicine is the unusual mushroom, which I grow them. The details don't matter, right? Curb your curiosity. There is a waterfall near the statue I prayed at. I need you to collect some water from... I'll be here, watching Caribert. Once you're back, good. Then please...
Rev the engines!
you're back. Coribere's condition is stable. By which I mean he still isn't responding. Anyway, give me the water. I need you to stand guard here for a while. Whatever you do, don't let any forest rangers approach the house. Ah, good. I'll be back soon. The fertilizer won't take but a moment to make.
Burn it down! Wrath from the sky! Pyroclastic surge!
What happened? Was it monsters? Oh, thank goodness you were here. I couldn't have taken them on all by myself. I'd have to hide and wait until they were gone. Oh, yes, I've got the fertilizer. The effects can take some time to kick in, so let's get on with it. Next, we pick the mushrooms and repeat the same steps as before to make another dose. I trust you still remember the method. Oh, sorry. I just, after resting in this field for a while, my thoughts began to wander. I have been so very wary for many... I do indeed. That's why it was just a fleeting thought. Thank you for your help once again. And now, for the final step. Back to the statue of the Seven.
Rev the engine!
We're here. Let's begin. Wait a moment. Hey, what was that? Coribere! Oh no, he must have left while we were too busy preparing the medicine to notice. Come on, we have to catch up with him. That's not Coribert. Right. Coribert's scarf was a gift I once gave to his mother. I use it now as a marker of sorts. My eyes must be going. How could I not recognize my own son? This decrepit... Yes. It doesn't seem interested in us in the least. It seems intent. Yes. The more we know about Hilly Churls, the better. Did it go in here? Well, let's head in. What a ghastly place. Has it always existed? I swear I've never noticed it before. It looks like they're, worshipping. Sometimes walking, sometimes kneeling in worship, and it appears to be in earnest. I've never seen anything like this in all my life. Oh...
Is this a teleportation device? What energy is powering it?
Light it up! Light of the blazing sun! Rev the engine! Pyroclastic surge!
How did I get on the ceiling? Did the room turn upside down, or gravity itself?
Stop me! Full throttle!
It seems like I need to find a place to insert the rune.
Humans, fate has not granted you the right to enter this place. Do you insist on an audience? Very well. And I grant you the trial. Desolation!
Letting great teams echo! We shall prevail! Light of the blazing sun!
Dominion!
Let's
Let's approach!
incinerate!
that. He was a perfect being. He had the most wondrous aura, a perilous yet beautiful, and yet you were able to defeat him. Oh, yours. Let's continue on. I find myself growing more curious by the second.
Try and stop me! Rev the engines! Try and stop me!
I think we've made it to the end.
Oh, dear creature, why do you bow down? For fear of the unknown? Or for power that you covet? Oh, dear creature, why do you bow down? For I am no god. I am but a sinner. You are like a flower born in sin. You need no longer hold back your resentment, nor go forth. Become a transcendent one. Rise beyond the fate bestowed upon you. And I shall shed a tear at the end of time, as I gaze back upon your life.
What just happened? When I saw that thing, my heart was instantly at peace. I was overcome. I feel good. In fact, I feel better than I did before I came in here. Is that so? All right. As you wish. Caribert! Oh, thank goodness! He's still okay. I have a strange feeling that what just happened, for this to happen, right at the moment when I was dreading worshipping at a statue of the Seven, you say that I bowed before that thing, so perhaps it might be just as effective. I have to try. No matter what, you said it yourself. I have to exhaust all options. Caribert?
Papa?
Caribert! Oh, my goodness, it worked! It's a miracle! Oh, Caribert! You see, it worked! Caribert can speak again!
Where's...
Mama is... Caribert, look at me.
Of course. Your Papa.
Yes! Salvation! Sweet salvation! Yes! This is what this feeling is. How do you feel, Caribert? Are you fully awake now?
Yes. It feels like I just woke up from a long sleep. I dreamed that I was hiding in a little room. I didn't dare go out the whole time, and I didn't want to either. Wait. My body! What happened to me? Is this me? Papa? What's happened to me?
Don't panic, son. It's just... While you were sleeping, we went into a fairy tale world. There's no more Conry here. No more home. But, do you know what that means? No more red sky. No more... And in this world, you have to be a little monster, but you get to stay with Papa forever.
Am I... dead?
No, of course not. Look, Caribert, you still have Mama's scarf on your arm. That means she's watching over you, protecting you. So how could you be dead?
Really?
Yes, really. You've only just woken up, and this must all be very confusing for you. Just rest here for now. Things will get better. Oh, and, you have to promise me something. Never take off your mask. Understand? Whatever happens, you mustn't take it off.
Okay, Papa. I won't. I promise.
Not since that day have I been so glad as I am now. I can't believe this is really happening. I knew that placing my hope in the Seven was a waste of time. I even worshipped at one of their statues like a common fool. Never before have I humiliated myself like that. Once a murderer, always a murderer. I was naive to think that the gods who conspired against us would ever offer redemption. But the God we saw in that cave, now that was a truly mighty God. Nothing like one of the Seven. That wondrous power, it was truly enchanting. Surely that must have been the reason I bowed down. Now then, after one beseeches a god, and the god responds by answering their prayers, should they, do something to show their devotion. Piety is hardly my area of expertise. But surely I should honor the god that has honored my wishes. A sinner? Oh, don't be absurd. You don't know a single thing about him. How dare you utter such blasphemy? You and I have both witnessed his divine power. When has the Seven worked a miracle like this before? Never! He is a god, mightier than they, and yet you would call him a sinner. Oh, preposterous! No matter. Believe what you will. You cannot shake my faith. I am going to pay my respects with or without you.
Instead of confining themselves to the heavens, God should broaden their horizons in the world below. Rev the engines! Hip. Full throttle! Rev the engines! Bring it! Light of the blazing sun! With the sun!
Impossible! What happened? The Hilichurl worshippers have disappeared too? Was it all an illusion? That's true. Yes, it can't have been an illusion. I still feel that awesome and wondrous power flowing through my mind and body. It was neither illusion nor coincidence, and certainly no dream. It was a wonder. Yes, a divine wonder. Let's go, traveler. There is surely a reason for its disappearance, and I do believe that someday in the future, could he really have been a sinner and not a god? Cory Bear? Where has he gone? Oh, no, no, no. Maybe someone else came by and found him? No, it can't have been that. There's no sign of a break-in and no sign of anyone having been here. This does not bode well. What if he's spotted by a forest ranger or an adventurer in his current state? Wait a minute. This isn't how we left it. Oh, no. Did he... The mirror! It's broken! He must have taken his mask off and seen what he looks like beneath it. If he'd just done as he was told! We have to find him. It's his scarf. He dropped it. Looks like we're going the right way. Come on. Cory Bear! Cory Bear! Where are you? Curses! Forest rangers.
Hey! Who are you? We haven't seen you around here before. What's your business here?
Have you seen a hilly churl? A hilly churl should have come past this way. Have you seen it?
I asked you first. Don't make this more difficult than it needs to be.
I said, have you seen a hilly churl?
Hey, whoa. Look, sir, there's no need to get so worked up. There are hilly churls everywhere. What's the big deal? We see plenty of them out here.
Exactly. Matter of fact, we just took out a few of them back there. Those dumb boneheads.
You forest ranger scum! You spawn of the seven are all the same. I'll have your heads if you so much as laid a finger on Cory Bear.
You're raving mad. You've got some gall coming here to our nation insulting the forest rangers.
Curse you all, forest rangers.
I don't get it. Why make such a huge fuss over a few hilly churls? Makes no sense.
He'd only just regained his mind. How could you do this to him? So tell me, forest rangers, did you really spare none of them? Did you really?
Jeez, you're really not going to let this go. Fine, you weirdo. If you must know, I happened to cross paths with a solitary hilly churl when I left the team to, use. I was frightened at first, but it didn't seem to have any interest in me at all. It was just bumbling along in that direction, so I left it alone.
Yes! Wonderful! Wonderful! Let's go! We have to find him.
Wait, you're leaving? Not even a thanks for the info, goodbye?
Burn it down!
Cory Bear! Cory Bear, stop! It's me! It's Papa! Whatever you saw, it was all a trick. An illusion. I told you, we're in a fairy tale world now. Nothing here is real. Please, Cory Bear, come back. It's time to go back. Cory Bear? How could this happen? He regained his mind. He must be able to hear me. Surely. Come, Cory Bear. We have to go home now. Papa's here to take you home, all right?
Papa.
Cory Bear.
Papa, I can't take it.
Please, Cory Bear. It's my fault. I'm so sorry. If only I'd known.
It's all too much. Papa!
I see. I understand now. Finally, it all makes sense. Ah, Traveler, you're awake. Finally, we can rejoice together. Wait, no. Why am I still calling you Traveler? Oh, I have known your true identity for some time now. I suspected it was you from the beginning. I had to talk to you. Oh, of course you haven't. With your status, you can hardly be expected to know all of us. In any case, I've been using a fake name this entire time. Ida is the name of us. My real name is Clotar. Clotar Alberic. You saw it too, didn't you? Unmistakable. The power inside Cory Bear and the power of the one you call us Sinner. It was one and the same. Yeah. I am positive now. It's the power of the abyss, isn't it? Oh, at long last, I have seen it with my own eyes. That is no business of yours. A sinner. Yes. Salvation for a sinner can only come from a sinner. Cory Bear did not deserve his fate, but now it's wonderful. He will be able to weave his own destiny anew. Born into abject sorrow, he shall now become The loom of fate. Huh? Sinister. Dangerous. Oh, I never imagined that you, of all people, would deny the abyss. How ridiculous! We once believed that you would bring new strength and hope to Conria. To us, you were the abyss. A wondrous mystery far beyond our imagination and comprehension. And the one who controls the abyss can control everything. We yearned for that future. We looked to you to take us there. But what did you bring us instead? Oh, Prince of Conria.
Was it he just call me?
Traveler!
You're awake! Oh, thank goodness you're awake! Paimon was worried sick! Traveler? Traveler?
What happened while you were unconscious? I checked the ley lines nearby. It appears that the Abyss tampered with them, and they've been in turmoil ever since. Information and memories flow within the ley lines. What did you witness? You mean Clotar Alberich? After founding the Abyss Order, his faith in the Abyss led him to do a great many things. But the curse of immortality continued to torment his body and mind. And in the end, neither his faith nor the Abyss he worshipped could save him. After 100 years, he lost his mind completely and was never seen again. Yet his dark legacy lived on. The defiled statue that we encountered previously was just one perverse product of his use of abyssal power during his life. You could say that. He wouldn't be the Abyss Order's prince otherwise.
Are you all right? You have a troubled look on your face. What happened?
So you saw his memories from centuries ago through your own eyes. It all but defies belief. Still, as I'd suspected, the notion of the Loom of Fate did indeed rear its head during that time. And it seems closely connected to Clotar Alberich's son, Caribert, and what happened to him. And yet your brother never breathed a word of this incident to me. I wonder, was that the moment that he decided to go down this path? Indeed. Clearly, this series of events sparked a long period of deep contemplation. This was where it all began. What is it?
The field? What does that have to do with anything?
You mean here? Well, let's start digging and see.
You scared the Duke out of Paimon! Did you rebury
A male and female skeleton, buried together. Interestingly, the male skeleton appears to have been interred much later, and it's holding a silk scarf in its hand. But what does this mean? And how did you know that there were bodies buried here? What? That's impossible. Unless Clotar Albery finally found a way to rid himself of the curse. This all raises far too many questions. I need time to think, and to search my memories for some missing pieces. We should part ways here.
Huh? You're just gonna leave? Why? You could come with us, you know.
It's better that we split up for now. I think that he might have seen you.
Who's he?
Yes. I have my suspicions as to his identity, but I need to confirm some other details before I can be sure. If the time is right, I will tell you when we next meet.
But what do you mean that he saw the traveler? How is that possible?
I fear that while these things would limit anyone else, they are no obstacle to him.
What? Why? What is he?
All right, let's leave it there. Get some rest. Goodbye.
There goes Dane. And just like that, it's back. What is it? Huh?
Many insects have a compulsion to follow the light, and humans are the same. Except we call that light hope. Instead of confining themselves to the heavens, God should broaden their horizons in the world below. Try and stop me!
So many things have happened since then. Yeah, we've definitely made some progress on our journey. So, where should we go today? Huh? What's up? Hey! What the heck was that for? Doesn't want to talk, huh? Alright, let's convince him to calm down a little. Eyes of the valley! Go and fly!
Yield!
Huh? So you don't have a vision after all? Seems like I've mistaken you for someone else.
At the very least, you should make sure you've got the right person before you go attacking them. No, wait! Even when you've got the right person, you shouldn't go attacking them out of the blue. It's dangerous.
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kaedahara Kazuha? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animal vision. That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here, waving that weird sword in our faces, and he didn't even apologize. Seems like a real nutcase. Well, one thing's for sure. No way are we telling him anything about Kazuha. Hey! Don't be mean! I'm unsmart lots of the time! Anyway, just to be on the safe side, we should go fight Kazuha right away and tell him to watch his back. Oh? What kind of hunch? A special connection? You mean beyond already knowing each other? Yeah, maybe a little. But then again, most people look pretty much the same once they start fighting, so that doesn't really prove anything. Anyway, there's no time to lose. Let's go tell Kazuha so we won't get into any danger. Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment. Let's look for him there. Kazuha is.
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after all. Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran into a huge crowd of Inazumans, all of them wanting to know about Kazuha. If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but I don't see her getting this kind of attention. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but she just laughs it off.
Oh, so you still don't know what he did?
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be? Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. In that case, his newfound stardom is well deserved. He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryo Commission. They said they had something important to discuss with him. I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him. Seems like they really respect the guy.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable. Thank you. Guess we'll go pay a visit to the Tenryo Commission.
All right, then. I'll just stay here and carry on trying to fend off the crowd.
Oh? It's you.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt decree. Since you're here, you're very welcome to listen in on the conversation. We invited Mr. Kaedahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill on behalf of the Shogunate. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance to correct my clan's past mistakes, and for that, I'm deeply grateful. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing, the tensions that have built up over the years. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Kaedahara name. Regarding the history of the Kaedahara clan, I trust that you're already somewhat informed? In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the Almighty Shogun. The Kaedahara clan belonged to this class. But there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaedahara and Kamisato clans were held accountable for lax oversight and entered a period of great turmoil. We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui. Attributing all of the blame to the Kamisato and Kaedahara clans was neither proper nor just. Considering Mr. Kaedahara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma, the Almighty Shogun believes he should not only be rewarded for his achievements, but also receive recompense for the excessive punishment borne by his clan in the past. In the interest of preventing further harassment of the Bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly release the findings of our investigations into these matters. We trust you can understand why this was necessary.
This is a true honor. I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill of the Almighty Shogun and the Shogunate at large. However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture does not come without some strings attached?
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. We seek only to correct a past injustice. With the Kaedahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaedaharas will be bladesmiths once more, and your wanderings will finally come to an end. You will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City with the Almighty Shogun's blessing and full support of the Shogunate.
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall walls of a stately abode. Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaedahara, and the art of blade making for which it stood. I do have a responsibility to restore their honor.
I sense some hesitation in your words. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the populace will disappear.
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way here was so much praise that we almost wondered whether there was another Kaedahara Kazuha in town.
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaedahara really parried the Shogun's strike. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, the falsehood that Kaedahara Kazuha was using a delusion began to spread.
What? But that doesn't make sense. Using a delusion turns you old and frail, and Kazuha still looks fine.
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements at once is a more inconceivable notion still.
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public discussion, no matter whether it brings suspicion or stardom my way. But perhaps if the shogunate is willing to publicly support me, this situation will blow over more quickly.
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought. It stands to benefit all of us.
Please allow me some time to consider. In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then, what brings the two of you here?
Yikes! We nearly forgot about the most important thing!
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me? No, this puzzles me as much as it does you. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training to standardize every motion the blade is put through, so that each can be fairly assessed for quality. Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaedehara sword art, focused on blade testing, but with a full repertoire of combat forms. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle. So it's hard to imagine that the similarity you speak of was coincidence alone.
All the more reason to watch your back. This guy was a serious nutcase.
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyone he targets is at risk of serious injury, or worse.
In that case, I will send some men out immediately to search for him.
Thank you. I must say I am now very curious about this matter, and I will also need some time to consider your offer. I will first join the traveler in investigating the one who attacked her, then give you a conclusive answer upon my return.
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what Ryuji has to say.
Exploration and trials. Adventuring is right up my alley. Throttle! Try and stop me!
Hey there! We'd like to ask you a quick question. Do you know if anyone around here has been looking for him? For Kaedehara Kazuha, we mean.
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaedehara. I've heard a lot about you. It is an honor to finally meet you today.
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an assault and would appreciate any help you can offer.
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Let me think. I can't seem to recall anything of immediate interest. Mr. Kaidehara is currently the talk of the town, so there are always a lot of people looking for him. To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people wishing to obtain Mr. Kaidehara's personal information. Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these were more legitimate commissions, Sango would have snapped them up in an instant.
Millions of mora? Whoa! Oh, wait, even at that price, you probably still shouldn't.
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my privacy.
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by revealing details of other people's day-to-day life just for the sake of it. Sorry, I got a little off topic. What I'm really trying to say is, it doesn't surprise me that a complete stranger is looking for Mr. Kaidehara. But I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to connect this with an assault.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other attacks or similar incidents recently that stand out as particularly unusual? The Tenryou Commission had very few leads, and I thought you might have some information from different sources.
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. But typically, it's only the most trivial events that manage to escape their attention. If anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault, in which case the Tenryou Commission would absolutely get involved.
That does make sense. Uh-oh. Looks like the trail's already run cold.
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble elsewhere. Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been hurt by now. I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. In fact, I'm quite relieved that you were the one he targeted. It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured or lose their life because of me. For the poor victim, this would be a completely senseless crime.
Don't worry, we'll find him.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaidehara. Surely this same concern for your fellow man is what drove you to fearlessly raise your blade against the almighty Shogun.
You flatter me. Truth be told, I don't know quite what came over me in that moment.
You are much too humble. Don't worry, I completely understand your concerns. I will try my best to gather whatever leads I can for you. Oh, actually, there was one strange incident over the last few days. It doesn't involve an attack, though. Let me tell you about it just in case.
Sure. During times like this, the more information we have, the better.
All right, then. Recently, 2 people went missing from the city at around the same time. One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya, is a samurai from the Amenoma clan.
Amenoma? Now there's a familiar name.
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of Amenoma Smithy. 2 grown men going missing at the same time. Their cases are likely connected, but I don't know much in the way of details. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade. Perhaps he is the one you are looking for.
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man, nor do I have any idea why he may...
Sure, can't hurt. We never know what we might find out along the way.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by making some inquiries at the Amenoma Smithy.
Sounds good. All the best with your investigation. I'll get moving shortly myself.
Welcome to Gontan Sangha Detective Agency. What will you have me solve?
Ah, if it isn't Kaedehara Kazuha. What brings you here today?
Huh? You two know each other?
Yes, the Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have always been deep links between the two clans. After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my respects. Let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokaden was the collective term for the 5 most acclaimed bladesmithing arts in Inazuma. The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the almighty Shogun, and over time further honed and enhanced by the most talented craftsmen. Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today, only the Amenoma clan has kept its art alive.
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, we each had our specialties, and just as iron sharpens iron, so too did we learn much from each other. As an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water, as it turns stone to sand. There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have memorized the craft, turning each motion of every technique into an intrinsic part of the bladesmith's life. As for the art of the Kaedehara clan, I believe it's called the Ishin art.
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind from the moment that forging begins. For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension of its wielder's will.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses its owner. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade. It gladdens my heart to see that although the Kaedehara clan has fallen on hard times, its ideals and virtues are alive and well.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments, not by any noble aspirations on behalf of my clan. But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit today is to gather some information on your missing nephew. We hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to another we are pursuing.
Ah, yes. My nephew. I reported the case to the Tenryo Commission, but I haven't heard anything back so far. He didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. I'm still completely at a loss on what to make of it, but I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile. All I can do now is wait for the news from the Tenryo Commission.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too. Know anything about that?
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a great gift. I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after... Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it. Unfortunately, there was very little evidence left behind, so nobody knows what really happened.
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to get my hopes up. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade testing, and can sense even the most minute differences in blade quality. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts, particularly when it comes to the art of the sword.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be objectionable. The person we are looking for, he attacked this friend of mine. Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya seems to match the suspect's profile.
What? No. Absolutely impossible. Yuya is not that kind of person. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of calming his mind. He has never gotten into a fight before.
Huh. Is that so?
Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, it's that Yuya would never draw his blade without a very good reason. But, with that said, it's equally out of character for him to just disappear, with neither farewell nor fair warning. I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced, or otherwise compelled by circumstances unbeknownst to me. Anyway, should you find him, please let me know as soon as possible.
Don't worry. You have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked us as well.
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when the two men met each other. Let's pay a visit to the Nagato household.
Rev the engines!
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now. My husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying to find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation.
Ah, I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you know where he's gone?
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. We're still trying to find out as much as we can to inform our search. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for Mora.
That's a long story. Ever since I've known him, he's been an avid collector of all sorts of things. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited they made him, I was happy to believe that they were just extremely important to him. Everything was fine when we first got married, but as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Uh-oh, what happened?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring his weapons even as debt collectors were descending upon our house. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like he was in a trance. I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come first. I've tried talking to him about it so many times, but he never listens. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles and pay off his debts, I would divorce him and take the children with me.
Whoa!
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. On most things, he leaves the decision-making to me. You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, he awkwardly mumbled that he would pick out a few items to sell. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family? Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves in such a predicament. And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was simply angry with me. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. I understand. Ame no Mayuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire broke out at the warehouse, and both men disappeared.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price. But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a fierce argument.
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from the debts?
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned down. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's got no way to pay off our debts. Even though I'm still a little mad at him, we're a family, and I want us to face our family's crisis together. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know we can work things out.
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period. But the information we gathered from the other side suggests Ame no Mayuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument. This situation is getting a little confusing.
A little confusing? More like completely mystifying.
Let's try a change of scenery and see if we can piece together what we've learned. Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much. I just want him to come home.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was somehow the catalyst for their disappearance. The fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded, though its exact role is a mystery. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, Paimon was thinking that maybe someone accidentally knocked over an oil lamp and, nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
Right. I very much agree with you. It seems highly likely that we're missing a piece of the puzzle. Working off what we know so far, there are too many things that don't add up. The chances are that there are still some clues left for us to discover. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Ame no Mayuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato is introverted and passive. Neither seems like the type of person who is inclined towards initiating conflict. Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Just what could have happened there? Right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details that we've learned seem to link the two events together. Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally a practitioner of the blade testing techniques of Amenoma art, not those of the combat-oriented Ishin art.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a wild goose chase.
Let's keep going, since we've come this far. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some closure.
Okay, but where should we go now?
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still a chance we may be able to find some shreds of evidence. Wait. I hear something ominous in the wind.
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds that only you can hear. As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's tournament.
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound. It's right around here somewhere.
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction it left in. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma, the remnants of the Tatarigami. Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our investigation. We should remain vigilant and approach slowly.
Huh. So it's an underground warehouse.
The force is definitely coming from down below. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this place, but the residue it left behind still hasn't dissipated completely. Judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude that the Tatarigami source resided here for a very long time.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by himself a lot.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy at that time. From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all upon whom it preys into violent monsters, but most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's unfulfilled will. Their interests become fanatical obsessions. Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an obsessive hoarder, amassing more and more possessions, even as he put himself in grave debt.
So what should we do now? Go down and take a look?
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look inside. If we don't open this door, we can move no closer to the truth. You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far greater dangers than this. Relatively speaking, the risk here is trivial.
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't see anything. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
That was too scary! Paimon was so sure that the warehouse boogeyman was about to jump out at us!
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy source left this place. 2 ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. I fear much misfortune has already befallen them. Yes, let's go. If nothing else, it's vital that we find out where this Tatarigami energy is coming from. Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. Perhaps you, too, will perceive its ominous presence in the wind.
Many insects have a compulsion to follow the light, and humans are the same. Except we call that light hope. Instead of confining themselves to the heavens, God should broaden their horizons in the world below. Exploration and trials. Adventuring is right up my alley.
From this point, the trail appears to split into 2. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance, but a small portion remained here and seems to be dissipating slowly. Quite possibly. Let's search the area. Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Wait!
Hear me. Bring it.
It's...
Ooh, look at this red stuff. What is it?
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. The ink is bone dry. It must have been written quite some time ago. Well, let's take a look. According to this letter, a conflict arose because Ame no Yuya wanted to seize a blade belonging to Mr. Nagato. Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could, eventually stopping here to write this letter when his strength gave out.
So, where is he?
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to that the fact that its aura seems to have attracted a horde of monsters, and I'm afraid he may no longer be with us. Whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by the hilly churls. There's nothing more for us to find here. Yes, right now we need to uncover some more important truths. If Ame no Yuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then the longer we take to find him, the more people risk meeting the same tragic end.
Right, so let's get moving.
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey to the influence of the Tatarigami. For a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest desire to inflame would be their pursuit of further power and skill. All the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnected, it seems that now we know the thread that runs between them. I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct, not only explains the series of events leading to the two men's disappearance, but also zeroes in on the attacker's identity.
Wait, you figured it out?
I believe so. But it's something of an outlandish idea. I will only be able to confirm my suspicions once we've met him in person. On with the search. We must stay vigilant. At any point now, we may find ourselves in danger. I'm not sure, but on closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered here at several different points in time.
Show yourself! It's no use hiding anymore.
Kaedehara Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is the same guy from before. What's your problem, huh? What could you possibly have against Kazuha?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Ame no Yuya that stands before us. But what if instead of facing Ame no Yuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it, it is giving off a strange light. Whoa, whoa! Surely you don't mean... Are you serious?
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect any living organisms in its vicinity.
The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind, and more recently using the sale as a means to affect, or rather as a means to occupy, Ame no Mayuya's body.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already deduced the truth of the matter. Many, many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride and joy. In me, he placed all his hopes and dreams. As a descendant of the Kaedehara clan, you should be able to guess our greatest regret.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he could do was to flee the nation by sea on a ship bound for Snezhnaya. He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. All he needed was more time and a little faith. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work, his wisdom, he not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with a consciousness of my own. In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also an irreplaceable achievement in the art of blade forging.
So, swords can become...
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and well-crafted one, but in all other respects an ordinary weapon. But that gave me the opportunity to take action. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. Moving from one person to the next, I controlled the minds of countless hosts along the way, each bringing me one step closer. I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power, the might of Ishin art.
So Ame no Mayuya was not your first victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you've finished using them?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but tools that serve my mission. When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take me back to Inazuma.
You're awful!
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Ame no Mayuya handed himself over to me on a silver platter. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Ame no Mayuya's body, I have found you, and by your hand, I shall defeat the Raiden Shogun. Kaedehara Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other to serve as my host for what is to come. Now, give your body over to me!
Let the mountain's veins boil! Light it up! Wrath from the sky!
Shall rewrite history! Join me and sever that divine light!
Wind strike!
Pyroclastic surge!
Do not stand in my way, or I will strike you down too!
Your bluff's fooling no one. You've lost!
Lost? I can never lose. It is this body that has reached its limit, nothing more. Even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me, but this man. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. I can take a new vessel at will. The end result is the same. I will end this wretch's life before you can lift a finger. And And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but a small setback. My consciousness shall endure. By any means necessary, and any medium available, I shall return and fulfill my destiny!
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Ishin art. But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as a thinly veiled mania and despair.
Really? You can tell all that just from his moves?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing Aminome Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost thoughts of the blade. If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition. You believe I am your only hope.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin art's secrets. The little that you know barely scratches the... In that regard, why...
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade that can... Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You weren't biding your time. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable to...
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a...
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to Amino...
And what of it?
Well, that brings me to my second point. There's a despair in you that is so strong it threatens... You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too grand and too heavy for you to bear. I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear of losing everything you had achieved grew. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long since become a delusional fantasy.
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one step away from achieving my goal.
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous journey, you committed countless atrocities and showed a blatant disregard for human life. Even if you were to sever that divine light, is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired?
You...
Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even at how could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of harmony?
Silence! I must achieve my goal. This was his life's dream, and the very purpose for which I was brought into being. I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament clearly. But you also underestimate my resolve.
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me... I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation, not self-reflection, and certainly not your so-called reality. It is pointless to argue further, descendant of the Kaedahara clan. If you wish to save this man, then offer me your body in exchange.
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward path. I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So let us make a bet, and I will put your strength to the test.
What? Surely you're not planning to agree to his demands.
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste of my power will more than convince you. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to Tenshukaku.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Aminome Yuya from your
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Ame no Mayuya. If we don't do this, he'll forever be the Blade's puppet. The cursed Blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. This suggests his heart is still not completely devoid of honor. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Ame no Mayuya fell prey to it. Since I don't have any similar kinds of obsessions, I should be able to put up some resistance for a while.
But even so...
Even if things take a turn for the worse, I still have you both here with me. We have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept the risks entailed.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to learn too. Now, take me in your hand.
Kazuha?
I felt a little dizzy at first, but only for a moment. It's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will.
What should we do next? Have you...
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real fights. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony, if he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it. He shouldn't last long in an intense combat situation.
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about something from the Adventurers Guild. Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base...
All right.
What about Ame no Mayuya?
The blade says he'll let Ame no Mayuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't...
Are we sure this is a good idea? Okay, fine.
Instead of confining themselves to the heavens, God should broaden their horizons in the world below.
Try and stop me!
Leave everything on this journey to me. Wind strike! Let's get down to business! Clouds high, the birds call! Wind strike! The fairy!
How are you feeling? You okay?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become very difficult to use. Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather than trying to control me, he's instead trying to match my fighting rhythm. Let's keep going.
It's a lucky day. How's that? The fairy. Let's get down to business.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night! Wind strike!
Whoa! Something's up with the blade!
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade is becoming more and more difficult for me to wield. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at any moment.
But what would that do to Amano
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any plans to give up easily. He's still trying to achieve his goal. Time to go. That hurts!
Fall before me!
Time to go. Wind strike. Clouds high. The birds call.
That was such a close call.
My apologies. In the end, I still needed your help.
Are you okay? It looked like you were really struggling the entire fight.
Yes. And it looks like he's reached his limit.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look anywhere near as impressive as it did at the start.
Perhaps this time we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form? What are you talking about? Huh? What the? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk.
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered and broken. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to wield commendable power. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty, nor can I empathize with the one who made you. The only one who truly understood you had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
Here they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup, we can help this time.
Don't worry. I'll use my own blade. It's just more of the same.
Let's get down to business.
Wind strike.
I'm ready!
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly together, you have seen me for who I really am. No one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. You are the first person to know the truth. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still be a ray of hope for me.
But in this too you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that your personal blade does with you. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor, and without proper maintenance, I can only disguise my true appearance behind an outer sheen. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is. Perhaps I shall never reach that level of glory.
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue.
What?
Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not everything. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the moment that I most needed it, I received aid from another power. Skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these must be aligned in the practice of Ishin art. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your own consciousness derived from the power of the Tatarigami. Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the source of your mania and savagery. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was constantly trying to seize control of my body.
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it. It is an integral part of my consciousness.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I do not know whether you yourself have any intention of trying to fight it. I feel a great sense of regret for you. Since you embarked on a journey bound for a destination you were destined never to reach. The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. And yet there was no way for you to turn your back on his ambition. You have known this for a long time. It is the true source of your despair.
He gave me everything. My life, my form, my consciousness, and purpose. How could I possibly deny him his wish? I said to him, "Do not worry. From here on, I shall forge your legacy." How could I go back on my word?
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing further to say.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. Let's give him some time to reflect on things. When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a strange dimension. It was somewhere I've never been. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. His breaths were weak, and his life near its end. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively to his final words.
Wow. That was the blade's memory, wasn't it?
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. The Ishin art had been dealt a devastating blow by the desertion of its best smiths. He spent the rest of his life in the forge, not to vent his frustration and hatred, but to atone for his actions. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, proudest creation back to the land of his birth. So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. But he never wished to rival the gods. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith, that they were still worthy of being trusted.
So that's the true story. But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were worked by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud creation into the cursed blade of today.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. The hatred within that power is what sent the blade down its ill-fated path. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. No one was there to correct its errors when it was losing its way.
Shame it's too late now.
Yes, it is too late. Time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, his ambition remained stubbornly stuck at that fleeting moment at the dawn of his journey. He seems to have calmed down, though. Let's go and check in.
We should, take a break after all that running around. Yeah, let's rest here for a bit.
When I look back at the past, I can remember the day of my fortune like it was just yesterday. I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt I owed to him for giving me the gift of consciousness. But darkness and slaughter numb the mind. Over time, I lost sight of the difference between gratitude and grudge. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition, I also defiled it.
You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement and release Amenoma Yuya. But I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. It is the entire purpose for my existence. So, may I ask you to help me fulfill the ambitions of myself and my creator?
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too? Jeez, don't push your luck, mister.
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still release Amenoma Yuya as promised. My physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value to you.
His attitude has grown a lot milder. What do you think, Kazuha? Should we give him a chance?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. He told me that he had wanted me to have the grandest opening battle. Alas, after that, he never rose from his sickbed again. Nor have I ever had the chance to prove myself in battle since. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-ending journey. The next in a long line of transgressions. You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle and experience a true duel between samurai.
Oh? And who would be the opponent?
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps after that, you can convince him to commit to a fight with you. You must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and desire a good fight.
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and seeing if he has the stamina and will to fight.
I see. He used my body to inflict harm on others. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, he must still have some remaining semblance of honor. If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I am willing to put myself forward. I do not wish to be a mere victim in this story.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the Tenryo Commission.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your intervention?
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't stay here. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a greater sense of ceremony.
with the sun!
Bring it! Barbados!
Light it up! Light of the blazing sun!
Hear the echoes of the valley! Wind, hear me!
Grant us your blessing!
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux crash. Yep, we still can't let our guard down. Even now, Paimon has a sneaking suspicion that Blade hasn't told us everything. Still, even if he's way past the point of redemption, it's hard not to feel a teensy bit sorry for him. Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. All right then. Successor of Ishin art, Kaedehara Kazuha.
Successor of Amenoma art, Amenome Yuya.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
Fine. Wind strike.
As one with wind and cloud.
Wind strike.
Thank you for the experience. Although he appears battered and broken, in your hands it seems he's regained a glimmer of brilliance. His sense of savage cruelty has completely faded away. But that same sense of determination remains strong.
You also fought well. I'm sure he relished the experience. There are a few things that I shall leave him to tell you himself.
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
You need not seek my forgiveness, nor do I have the right to forgive you on your victim's behalf. It is too late for all of that.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone, and not let them stain the legacy of Ishin art. I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishin art still has a worthy successor in Kaedehara Kazuha. I beseech you, please understand this.
Yes, I too trust Mr. Kaedehara to do the right thing.
Thank you, successor of Amenoma art.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. He would like to visit the Amenoma smithy. Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want to go there for?
I'm not sure, but I think that all this is about to come to an end.
It's Yuya! You have returned!
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to them that I was able to return safely.
A prized Ishin blade, turned weapon that controls the human mind. Considering their forging philosophy, this was indeed within the realm of possibility. This is a great pity. But I have some good news as well. Ryuji, from the Bonton Sango Detective Agency, tells me that they've found the missing Mr. Nagato.
Really? Is he okay?
Yes. Badly wounded, but he will live. And now that Yuya is back, it seems like the final ending to this story is a happy one after all.
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade whispering in your ear again?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me for a brief moment.
What? No way! Hasn't it learned its lesson?
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And he assures me that he won't use my body for anything nefarious. I have decided to let him do it.
Guess there's nothing we can say to...
Thank you. I will explain my reasons later. Okay. I am ready. Let us begin. Please, stay true to your promise.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
He said it had to be done in that order. His consciousness will disappear forever after fulfilling the bladesmith's wish.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It was the first time I ever heard his name. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions, and thus chose to bury this name deep within his heart. Only in the final moments, before his consciousness faded, was he willing to entrust it to another.
Seems like he really, really wanted to fulfill his maker's wish.
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going forward also fueled the stubborn determination that blinded him to the path ahead. Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes than see him punished for them. I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. I've always been captivated by grand aspirations. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me, just as the sight of those who fought to repeal the Vision Hunt decree did. Your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling inspires me in the same way. After everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits fascinate me a little more than they should.
Oh, Kazuha.
I will continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have...
Wait! Shouldn't we also go update Kujo Kamaji?
Oh, you're right. We need to tell him about the findings of our investigation. And it's also time to give him a response to the offer he made me.
You've returned. I hear that the issue has been resolved. Though this was a treacherous investigation indeed, we're most fortunate that no lives were lost. The Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into Amanome Yuya should conclude soon. I do not believe he will be charged with any crime.
Wow, you sure kept your ear to the ground.
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer. Please take a look at this blade.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin, a weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art of the Kaedehara clan. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also promised him that I will continue to study and pass on the secrets of Ishin art. And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations, learning more about this blade as I go.
I see. I understand.
The Kaidahara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only proper for me to continue on this path. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya. That would not suit me.
You misunderstand. That was most certainly not our intent.
I am aware, but I still desire to continue walking my own path.
Very well, I can understand. Then let's pretend this offer was never raised. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the shogunate's assistance, please do not hesitate to inform me.
Great. Thank you for your generosity.
Where will you travel to next, Kazuha?
I'll probably take to the seas with Captain Beto again for now. As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
You must have a whole bunch of questions after our last conversation with Nahida. Paimon was ready to ask her a million more questions, but didn't want to seem too pushy.